name is Yeshua, Tabitha, Daniella as Joson, and I will be teaching you about geometric proportions. So what is the meaning of geometric proportions? It is basically the relationship between two things when the quantities of the two are equal in ratios. So what are ratios? A ratio compares values. A ratio says how much of one thing is compared to another thing. A ratio can be written in three ways, which is in fraction, using a colon, and using the words is to. For example, 1/2 or 1/2, 1:2, which is read as 1:2. Next is 5/25, 5:25, which is read as 5:25. And lastly, 100/1000, 100:1000, which is read as 100:1000. For ratios, there are values that we call the means and the extremes. Here are the examples. A/B is equal to C/D in fraction. Then in ratios, it is A/B equals to C/D. B and C are called the means. A and D are called the extremes. So in case you didn't see what I wrote, here it is. Okay, too much information on ratios. Let's get to the laws of proportion. So, our first law is called means-extremes product law of proportions. It states that in a proportion, the product of the means is equal to the product of the extremes. The first law says that if A/B is equal to C/D, then A multiplied to D is equal to B multiplied to C, where B is not equal to 0 and D is not equal to 0. In example, our first example is 4/12 equal to 2/6. We will be using cross multiplication in finding out if two or more fractions and ratios are proportional to each other. So 4 multiplied to 6 is equal to 12 multiplied to 2. To find out, 4 times 6, which is 24, is equal to 12 times 2 equals 24 as well. So, in conclusion, (4/12) is equal to 2/6. Our second example, 4/3 is equal to 12/9. Again, using the cross multiplication to get to know if two fractions are proportional to each other. So 4 multiplied to 9 is equal to 3 multiplied to 12. To find out, 4 times 9 is equal to 36, and 3 times 12 is equal to 36 as well. So in conclusion, 4 over 3 is proportional to 12 over 9. Here are more examples. So, in our third example, 3 is to 4 is equal to 5 is to 6. So now we used ratios as our example. But first, we should convert it into fraction. So 3 over 4 is equal to 5 over 6. Cross multiply. 3 multiplied to 6 is equal to 4 multiplied to 5. And the answer is 18 and 20. So 18 and not 20 are not equal. In conclusion, 3 is to 4 is not proportional or not equal to 5 is to 6. Our fourth example, 10 is to 15 is equal to 3 is to 2. So we're still in ratios. We convert it again into fractions. So 10 over 15 is equal to 3 over 2. Then again, cross multiply 10 and 2, 15 and 3, which is equal to 20 and 45. 20 and 45 are not equal. We got 20 from 10 multiplied to 2, and we got 45 from 15 multiplied to 3. So, in conclusion, 10 is to 15 is not equal or proportional to 3 is to 2. So in case you didn't see what I wrote, here it is. We are now on our second law of proportion, which is called switch means, switch extremes law of proportion. It states that interchanging the means or interchanging the extremes still results in an equivalent proportion. Our second law says that if A over B is equal to C over D, then number 1, A over C is equal to B over D. And number 2, D over B is equal to C over A, where A, B, C, and D are non-zero real numbers. In example, so our first example, 4 over 50 is equal to 2 over 25. Cross multiply. 4 multiplied to 25 is equal to 50 multiplied to 2. So 4 times 25 is equal to 100, while 50 times 2 is also equal to 100. In conclusion, 4 over 50 is equal or proportional to 2 over 25. But what if we use the second law of proportions? So, 4 over 2 is equal to 50 over 25. In this case, we switch the means. So cross multiply. 4 multiplied to 25 is equal to 2 multiplied to 50. 4 times 25 is still 100, while 2 times 50 is also still 100. So, in conclusion, 4 over 2 is equal and proportional to 50 over 25. Our second example, 3 over 7. Oh, oops, got something wrong in there. 3 is to 7, so I wrote it in ratios. 3 is to 7 is equal to 6 is to 14. So, to find out, we should convert it into fractions, which is 3 over 7 equals 6 over 14. Then cross multiply. 3 multiplied to 14 is equal to 70 multiplied to 6. 3 times 14 is equals to 42, while 7 times 6 is also 42. So, in conclusion, 3 is to 7 is equal and proportional to 6 is to 14. But what if we use the second law of proportions? 14 over 7 is equal to 6 over 3. So this time we switched the extremes. So cross multiply. 14 multiplied to 3 is equals to 6 multiplied to 7. So 14 times 3 is still 42, and 6 times 7 is still 42. So in conclusion, 14 over 7 is equal and proportional to 6 over 3. So in case you didn't see what I wrote, here it is. We are now down to our third law of proportion, which is called invert both sides law of proportion, which states that in terms of the ratios of a proportion are inverted, the result is an equivalent proportion. So our third law says, if A over B is equals to C over D, then B over A is equal to D over C, where A, B, C, and D are non-zero real numbers.
In example,
Our first example, 4 is to 8 is equal to 3 is to 6. So we convert it into fraction, which is 4 over 8 equals 3 over 6. Cross multiply. So 4 multiplied to 6 is equal to 8 multiplied to 3. Next, 4 times 6 is equals to 24, while 8 times 3 is also 24. Therefore, 4 is to 8 is equal and proportional to 3 over 6 or 3 is to 6. But what if we use the third law of proportions, which we convert or get the reciprocal of both fractions, which is 8 over 4 equals 6 over 3. So 8 multiplied to 3 is equals 4 multiplied to 6. 8 times 3 is 24 and 4 times 6 is also 24. Therefore, 8 over 4 is equal and proportional to 6 over 3. So in case you didn't see what I wrote, here it is. We are now on our fourth and fifth law of proportions. Our fourth law is called denominator addition law of proportions, and our fifth law is called denominator subtraction law of proportions. Our fourth law says if A over B is equal to C over D, then A plus B over B is equal to C plus D over D, where B is not equal to 0 and D is not equal to 0. Then our fifth law says if A over B is equal to C over D, then A minus B over B is equal to C minus D over D, where B is not equal to 0 and D is not equal to 0. In example, so our first example, 8 is to 4 is equal to 24 is to 12. We can again convert it into fraction, but in this case I chose to write it in the fourth law of proportions. So 8 plus 4 over 4 is equal to 24 plus 12 over 12. To find out, so 8 plus 4 is equals to 12 over 4 equals 24 plus 12, 36 over 12. Then we simplify 12 over 4, which is 3, and 36 over 12 is also 3. So therefore, 8 is to 4 is equal and proportional to 24 is to 12. So in the first example, we used the fourth law. Our second example, 8 is to 4 is equal to 24 is to 12. So same example, but this time we're using the fifth law. So 8 minus 4 over 4 is equal to 24 minus 12 over 12. To find out, 8 minus 4 is equal to 4 over 4 equals 24 minus 12, which is 12 over 12. So, simplify, 1 is equal to 1. Therefore, 8 is to 4 is equal and proportional to 24 is to 12. And we used the fifth law. Here are more examples. So our third example, 9 over 6 is equal to 27 over 18. So 9 minus 6 over 6, that will be 3 over 6 is equal to 27 minus 18 over 18. That will be 9 over 18. So cross multiply 3 times 18 and 6 times 9. They are both 54. In conclusion, 9 over 6 is equal and proportional to 27 over 18. So in the third example, we used the fifth and the first law of proportions. So I apologize for the rush. I accidentally cut the video. So moving on, our fourth example is 1/2 or 1/2 is equal to 9/18. So 1 plus 2/2 is equal to 9 plus 18/18. Then 1 plus 2 is equal to 3/2. Then 9 plus 18, which is 27/18. Then we cross multiply 3 multiplied to 18 and 2 multiplied to 27. 3 times 18 is 54 and 2 times 27 is also 54. Therefore, 1/2 or 1/2 is equal and proportional to 9/18. So on our fourth example, we used the fourth and the first law of proportions. So in case you didn't see what I wrote, here it is. We are now down to our last law of proportions, which is the sixth law, and it is called numerator-denominator sum law of proportions, which states that the ratio of the sum of the numerators to the sum of the denominators is equivalent to each of the equal ratios. So, our sixth law says if A/B is equal to C/D and is equal to E/F and so on, then A plus C plus E plus so on over B plus D plus F plus so on is equal to A/B, equal to C/D, and equal to E/F, and equal to so on, where A, B, C, and D are non-zero real numbers. In example, so our first example, 1/2 is equal to 2/4 is equal to 3/6. Using the sixth law, 1 plus 2 plus 3 over 2 plus 4 plus 6, which is 6/12. To check, 1/2 is equal to 6/12. Using the first law, cross multiplying 2 times 6 and 1 times 12. So 1 multiplied to 12 and 2 multiplied to 6, they are both equal to 12. Therefore, 1/2 and 6/12 are equal and proportional. Next is 2/4 equal to 6/12. Cross multiply 2 multiplied to 12 is equal to 4 multiplied to 6. 2 times 12 is 24, and 4 times 6 is also 24. Therefore, 2/4 is equal and proportional to 6/12. Lastly, 3/6 is equal to 6/12. Again, using the first law, cross multiply 3 and 12, 6 and 6. 3 multiplied to 12 is equal to 6 multiplied to 6. 3 times 12 is 36, equal to 6 times 6, which is also 36. Therefore, 3 over 6 is equal to 6 over 12. And in conclusion, 1 over 2 is equal to 2 over 4 is equal to 3 over 6 and is equal to 6 over 12. So in case you didn't see what I wrote, here it is. So aside from the ratios and the laws of proportions, I will be teaching you how to get the geometric mean. But first, what is the geometric mean? A geometric mean is a special type of average where we multiply two numbers and then take the square root of the product. A over x is equal to x over b. Geometric mean, getting the value of x by multiplying a and b and both x. So we're still using the cross multiplication, which is a multiplied to b equals x squared, but only needing x, we will get the square root of both sides. So, x is equal to square root of ab. In example, so we got examples. Find the geometric mean of the following numbers. First example, 4 is to x is equal to x is to 9. So, converting it into fraction, 4 over x is equal to x over 9. Then cross multiply. 4 multiplied to 9 is equal to x multiplied to x. So 4 times 9 is 36, x times x is x squared. Then getting the square root of both sides, eventually getting x is equal to 6. Second example, 4 and 25. So writing it in fraction, 4 over x is equal to x over 25. Cross multiply, 4 times 25 is equal to 100, and x times x is equal to x squared. Then getting the square root, cancel. Square root of 100 is 10, so x is equal to 10. So we're getting a lot of examples. Third example is 24.5 and 2. Writing it into fraction, 24.5 over y is equal to y over 2. Cross multiply, 24.5 multiplied to 2 is equal to 49. And y multiplied to y is equal to y squared. Then getting the square root of both sides, so cancel. Square root of 49 is 7, so y is equal to 7. And our fourth example, 10 and 15. Converting it into fraction, 10 over x is equal to x over 15. Cross multiply 10 times 15 and x times x. So 150 is equal to x squared. Then, getting the square root of both sides, cancel. Eventually, x is equal to 5 square root of 6, or converting it into decimals, 12.25. Is it for this math tutorial. I hope you learned something from me and you can use it in your exams, quizzes, and assignments. So, see you soon. This is Yeshua, Tabitha, Daniella, Joson. Bye!